up? What's up, everybody? A warm hello. How's everybody doing? Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for spending a little bit of your precious time here with me. It is Tuesday. It is March 4th. Spring is coming. I'm ready for the melt. Hope everybody's doing well. Of course, I'm Big Cheds from Twitter. It's probably where you know me from. And I'm, of course, Cheds Trading on YouTube. I teach professional technical analysis, Japanese candlestick theory, and classical charting. I take the complicated, the academic. I try to make it a little bit easier for you. I try to put out a lot of free content. I have published 3 books, and my 4th book is coming really soon, The Trading Journal. This is kind of a mock-up of what the cover is going to be. I'm really excited for my new book. And since I have this new book coming out, I'm making my 3rd book for free. So check the Trading Quotes playlist. I'm going to record the entire book. I've got a free version of my cancer memoir, free version of Trading Wisdom. My books are available on Amazon and Audible as well. Just getting started to trading, you have to watch the Masterclass tutorial playlist. It's going to help you out. That's going to give you a really good sense of how I'm setting up my chart, all my moving averages, how to identify trade setups, how to manage your risk. This, of course, is going to be part of the Quick Market Update series. If you're looking for more in-depth analysis, twice a week I do a full market report on Bitcoin Live with the best team in the world that studies crypto every Wednesday and Sunday night. So warm hello, folks. Thanks for hanging out. Leave me a comment in the chat room, especially if it's your first time here. Make sure you're subscribed and leave me a comment. Let me know what you're thinking, how you're feeling. Some questions, like a question you think that other people would like to hear the answer to, something like an issue with how you're trading, you know, what's going on with the market. Of course, I'm going to cover Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. I'm going to try to give us a little update on what's going on with the price action, but I'd love your questions, your generic trading questions, and you can help me to create value with all those questions. So folks, thanks for hanging out here, of course. So I think what will be useful is I want to follow kind of a chain of tweets to continue the story from the last time I did an update here. Again, these are Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. These quick updates, I'll be back again on Friday afternoon, or Friday late morning. So Bitcoin had broken down and lost 90K, which was the first time. Okay, which was critical because the price had told us to stay here based on the multiple price attempts at that level, how bulls have responded every time interval in between the attempts, price distance between peak and trough. It was a big level in classical charting, signifying the continued advance in the weekly chart. And this was my big line in the sand at 90K. And I've been really making fun of bears for calling top too early, especially back here with the failed head and shoulders and all these repeated attempts. But when we lost it, I was actually a little bit, and I did a video here, I talked about what it means to lose 90K. So that is actually worth to go back and watch. The significance of losing 90K, in my view, meant we're very much likely to go to 72 to 74K and retest the prior range high. There was really no consolidation, no price structure in between these levels, and I woke up the morning of this initial break, and I was pretty sad about that. And what I said was it needs to close back up above it during that day, that candle, and it didn't. We rolled all the way down to 80K. We put in this nice little hammer candle, which I thought would be just the beginning of a mean reversion or a bounce back maybe to the EMA 8. And what's interesting is we started to see the price rolling over on the 4-hour. The 4-hour was getting ready to roll over and continue down. We had hidden bearish divergence, higher highs in the RSI, and we had a kind of a reset here, a movement against the trend, the local trend, which is bearish here on the break. It was getting ready to roll over, and then we had that announcement of the Crypto Strategic Reserve, and what a crazy, crazy, crazy ride. So Bitcoin started to bounce, and folks, thank you for being here. Bitcoin started to bounce, and I put up my tweet. I said, well, okay, let's get optimistic here, right? Now, Bitcoin needs above 96,320 to close green on the weekly. You know, it was like, oh, maybe we're going to close green on the weekly, and it was like around here when we started to get the news. We closed all the way up at 94.9, almost 95K with a nice hammer candle, range low recapture. And so what you want to think about this is when you have a level this well formed and the price loses it, this well formed, the price loses, it's pretty significant for the trend. When you recapture it, it turns the prior move into a deviation. And so now you definitely have to hold on the retest, or it's just a huge blow to momentum, right? So after that retest, after that recapture of the range and back up above 90K, I mean, you're laser focused in 90K. And so and we had, first we had Solana, ADA and XRP, and those went nuts, and we can touch base on those, of course. And then Trump said, of course, and Bitcoin and Ethereum. And so it was interesting to see their moves. And Bitcoin closed all the way up here. And I put out this tweet, scams run the hardest. It just is what it is. A lot of people are complaining about XRP, and ADA. And look, I'm not a fundamental analyst. I'm not really going to call them scams. To me, everything's a scam other than Bitcoin, but I'll trade it. I don't care. If the market likes it, I like it. If the market hates it, I hate it, right? And here's the right comment, profit is profit. And this is the way to think about the market. Strategic shitcoin reserve, it has a nice ring to it. It's just kind of fun. I'm just having fun. Everyone's like, this is crazy. This news, means we're going to the moon and the the top's not in. And then we started to show a little bit of weakness, and we had a throwback to 90K after a range recapture. So the price recaptured. Let's go back to the daily chart, and let's clean this up just a little bit. So we had the drop, we had the 4 hour starting to roll over, and then the price caught a bid on that news, and the price was able to jump back up into the range, range low 90K. The way I'm marking it up, others can mark it up differently. That's fine, but for the purposes of this lesson, we're viewing the range low as 90K, and we have a throwback. A throwback is a bullish retest from above. And that happened in this candle, and it really should have held. It was a fine long setup. It's fine to take a long here on the retest, but you have to cut it if it fails, like 89, 89.5. So let's follow the story. And by the way, folks, great to have all of you here. It's a nice big group today. I hope you decide to join me. I live stream 3 days a week. And then Sol had a throwback. Here's another throwback. The term throwback, a bullish retest. So Solana, which is one of the three coins, started to accelerate. Let's try that again. Started to accelerate nicely, and it recaptured a lost level. It had failed at 215. It had failed at 185. It had failed at 165, but it recaptured the level, so we were doing a throwback, a bullish retest. And then, so things are starting to fade a little bit, and here's the tweet. BTC, this is me warning you folks, like, hey, pay attention. Shields up if we lose 90K again. It should hold, or it's Goblin Town, right? Goblin Town, it's just one of those terms people use for, like, it's not looking good. And, the point is the recapture was significant for the momentum, and a failure to hold in the recapture is such an incredible turnaround in momentum that it makes it even more likely than before we're going to 72 to 74K. And so you're very clearly risking off on this loss of 90K. And this is my tweet giving a heads up. I'm saying, folks, shields up, like in Star Trek or like whatever, like Spartan 300, shields up. Like, shields up, you're under attack, like not looking good. And I've used this throughout the years. I actually don't use this that much, but I think I used it a lot in 2019, 2020, 2021. I've been tweeting Bitcoin since 2017 on Twitter. But this basically means, like, pay close attention, not looking good. When Cheds talking about shields up, you want to be careful. I'll get to the chat room in a minute. I love the chat room. Folks, give me a second. I'll get to your questions and your comments. Keep them coming. XRP, another throwback. ADA, another throwback. So we're seeing these 4 hour throwbacks where it should hold if there's some continued strength. Right? These are all price interaction with key level types of trades. We saw it in ADA with a 4 hour. We saw it in Solana with a 4 hour. The initial expansion, it was a throwback, and it was trying to hold here, which is where it would hold if it's a contained, going to be continued run. And then here we go. Vibes fading fast. Price is dropping. Also, moment. You could feel sentiment dropping, and vibes fading fast. This is like another. I'm trying to. I know a lot of people can't watch the chart all day like I do. So I'm thinking about you, and I'm trying to provide value with my content, and I'm trying to warn you, like, this isn't looking good. And then here it is. I quoted my own tweet. And this is basically like, we are failing to hold 90K. It's about 89.4. We are failing to hold 90K. Shields up means basically you probably want to reduce your long positions. If you took a long trade and a loss of 90K, you're in trouble. It's probably going way lower. this is a problem. You know, an hour later, folks, this is not looking good. I'm trying to warn you now multiple times. Okay. Is this the top? I don't know, but it's certainly a local top. And a failure to hold here, and then especially on the reentry and failure to hold there, it's really bad for momentum. Incredible bearish momentum on this roll over here. So I'm warning you, not looking good. And so that's Bitcoin. Let's get to Ethereum now. So we'll get back to Bitcoin, of course. I'll riff on that. But so now Ethereum, which had failed to hold at 2,700, dropped all the way down to 2,100 and bounced again. It continued to bounce, has continued to hold. It's still right there at the high time frame pivot level, the peak of the ascending triangle. Again, ascending triangle is a continuation pattern normally, but can be a reversal. Here was a reversal, and moving with the broader trend. We're back below the weekly MA200. We made a beautiful bounce off of 2,100 all the way to 25. And right back to it. So full retrace back to HTF, which means high time frame pivot at 2,100, not looking good. And Solana, is this what a bullish chart looks like the day after it was announced to be part of a strategic reserve? It's just really ugly, and it's amazing to think about the significance of the news. And I got caught away too. I got caught away in the moment. When you have that powerful news, you think, oh, okay, great. They did some executive order. They're going to do something. Our bags are going to go up. But this is just an unbelievable retrace of what is like some of the most significant news we've ever had. It is amazing to see that rollover. And this is like, hey, don't just hold your longs. Every time you have a long, every time you have a short, every time you're entering, you're using money, you're risking funds, you need to have a level that's going to define the idea for when it fails. And just here, you know, Bitcoin fast approaching the DMA 200, and, you know, we tagged it. We're basically right at it, the daily MA 200. So what a ride. It's a little bit sad to see, obviously, because, first of all, I was sad to see the initial 90K break, because that meant to me we were going to 74K. Then I was happy to see the reentry, and I thought, okay, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I misread something. But, I mean, the trend is rolling over. The trend is continuing to roll over, and a caution is certainly needed here. But let's get into the chat room. I've been yapping here for a while. Martwan, nice to see you. James, Janice, Crypto Milk, Will, Andrew, Mohammed, Gilbert, Quantum, Enoch, Chocolate, what's up, brother? Todd, nice to see you. Jason, folks, thanks for coming, by the way. And if I miss your message, I will read it after the video. I don't have a moderator, just me. I'm just hanging out. So let me look for some good questions here. So Katrine says, do you think that OM's weekly candle is a bearish reversal? Let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at the weekly candle on OM and see what we think about it. It's been one of the most bullish charts. Not really, no. Not a reversal candle. Weekly looks really good. It's at the rising EMA 8, so no. This is not a weekly reversal candle. There's very mild volume. Normally you'd see volume on a topping candle and reversal candle. So no, this is not a bearish reversal candle. The daily chart actually still looks pretty good. It's almost like it doesn't even know that the rest of the market's freaking out. I would definitely be looking, like if it dropped to like that $6 area, that would be certainly an area of interest. This chart actually still looks really good. So no, it's not a bearish reversal candle. Todd says ADA just doesn't care about the rest of the market. Are you sure, Todd? Are you sure? You're sure, brother? I mean, it failed to hold here at 90 cents. It does still have some relative strength to market. It's above the rising 200. It, you know, maybe holding here at this mid-channel level around 80 cents. I'm going to drop to a lower time frame and take a look. Yeah, it's a decent price response here. So actually, ADA looks not terrible. You know, if it loses 80 cents range, these are, when I say 80 cents, it's a price range from like 79 to 81. There's a filter around prices, a lesson I make all the time. There is no trend line. There's really just a trend of price with a filter around the line to understand. Same with the horizontal box. These are price zones. So generally, actually, you're actually right. ADA looks not terrible. It dropped right back into a demand, and bulls have responded. But given the response, and we'll see if we get a lower high here, what kind of strength there is. But given this response, if it fails here, you have to really pay attention. Don't hold this one, quote unquote, all the way down if it continues. If bears continue to put pressure. Gilbert, I just talked about OM Gilbert. That was requested. So great question from Big Stats Only. Cheds, What do you prefer more between, and we'll put it back to Bitcoin while we're talking here. Cheds, what do you prefer more between market structure and moving averages? Always market structure is what always matters. So here's the lesson. And I'm writing about this in my trading journal book. Generally you get a pretty good bounce off that first DMA 200 test in a strong uptrend. But the problem here, there's no structure. There's no lack of confluence. So anytime you're using a moving average, like an MA50, you have to look for nearby horizontal structure because you can't use the moving average because say this 200 rolls over, you can't just keep using it and holding it. Like if the price holds with it while it's going down, you always want to use horizontal structure to define your risk. So the answer is a very resounding market structure is way more important than the actual moving average. Chocolate says, hope you're well. I'm doing really good, man. My wife's been gone for a few days. I've been taking care of the kid by myself. I haven't burned down the house yet, so that's pretty good. But she'll be back today, and that will be nice. Great question, Ben. Any tips on recovering after a massive loss? Ben, this is a great question, and yes. So I would, first of all, I actually talked about this in the Trading Wisdom, Trading Quotes rather. I think it's either week 3. I talk a lot about trading psychology in this playlist and certainly in the Trading Wisdom playlist. You need to step away. You need to take a break. When you're emotionally compromised, so I've zeroed out probably at least 4 or 5 trading accounts, like gone down to zero and made a lot of mistakes. And every time I've done that, I've stepped away and read a textbook. I've stepped away and taken a break to let the emotions subside. And I've tried to beef up my skills and beef up my knowledge to allow me to come back with some confidence. You have to have confidence. And if you don't have confidence, you don't have anything. So to recover from a loss, step away, take a break. But you need to be journaling your trades. And, great, I actually happen to have a trading journal book coming out, but you don't have to use my book. You can use your own book or a blank piece of paper and write down why you're entering the trade, how you're feeling when you enter, what happened, what your stop loss is, what you learned, how you felt when you left the trade. You have to build up a history of these trades for you to learn from. So you're going to take a big loss, but hopefully you journaled along the way so you have something to reflect upon. So number 1 is deal with the emotions by stepping away. Then get your confidence back by studying, right? Study your mistakes and read textbooks. That's going to help you out a lot. Interested in your midterm view in the market, says young Ezio. Yeah, midterm view in the market is like we're going to probably 74K. I just want to see it hold there. That's important to me. I'm a bull. I'm a long-term bull. I don't want to see the price really drop back into the entire range. I don't want to see it, because if it drops below really 74K, we could go as low as 50, 55. I don't want to see it in the range. I'd rather see a clean throwback off of the top of the range. So momentum, in my view, is such that it's increasingly likely that we're going to 72 to 74K. And I would like to see the response hold there. If it doesn't hold, I'm going to start looking at lower targets because once you're in the range, you can test the bottom of the range. And if you can test the bottom of the range, you can break it. So it's important for me. It's going to be important for me to hear 72 to 74K. Okay, hold. Great questions. Mohammed says, I love you. What's up, brother? So Mandrew says, remember when you flipped into a bull at 18.5? I do. What would make you flip into a bull market is over? Well, losing 90K was the, risk off level. I mean, you should be risk off below 90K. And if you like I said, losing 72K, can get much worse if we lose that range. So I already kind of gave you a pretty good signal. I mean, I don't know how much more clear I could have been when I said shields up. And folks, this is not looking good. And if we lose this, it's Goblin Town. It's risk off. It's risk off below 90K. We're waiting to see how price responds at support. It was a little bit different with the 18.5 that it felt like bottom. This doesn't necessarily feel like top yet, but it very well probably is a local top. And it's a question of how the price responds in this range. So I kind of feel like I already gave you that signal in terms of what you're asking for. Hard to see the levels with max 480p. James, hit refresh. Just hit refresh, brother. All you can do is hit refresh. That's a YouTube thing. Nothing that I can do, my friends. Hope everybody is doing well. Dan K, hey, you mentioned that you call an uptrend if the price is above an increasing moving average, but what if we have a lower highs and lower lows? It's still great. It's a great question. So this comes in terms of Dow theory. So classical charting. So you have the primary trend, and then you have like a secondary trend. So like say you have like a bull flag, right? The primary trend is up, secondary trend is down, and then within the secondary trend, you can even have a minor trend, right? Which is like a low time frame, right? Like a bounce maybe off the lower boundary in the corrective channel inside of a larger advance. Trend within trend within trend. So the trend in classical charting is the MA200. But which is important to when, anytime you trade, like if you're on a 1 hour, you better know what the 4 hour daily and weekly look like because you're trading within a larger trend. So it's the idea of primary trend, secondary, and minor trend. This is Dow theory. You learn about it in classical charting textbook. I talk about it in Trading Wisdom. You can read about it in like CMT and stuff like that. Hey there, just got in trading your channel's hands on the best thing I found for TA. Hey, thanks, man. Thanks, Tom. Thank you, something for these weekly mini updates. Yeah. So I really try to save my deep, long form analysis for Bitcoin Live, and respect the members there. I love Bitcoin Live. I've been doing it for 7 years. But I also, and in addition, I want to continue to put out a lot of free content. So I do kind of surface level analysis here. And then I want to have something for everybody. So that's why I'm trying to put out a ton of free content this year on my YouTube channel. So thank you for that comment. Really appreciate that. Folks, give me some good questions. I want some good questions about trading. I've already covered what I think is going on with Bitcoin, how we got here. We talked about Solana and Ethereum a little bit. We even looked at ADA. We didn't quite look at XRP yet. XRP is still kind of hanging in there. I would have wanted to see it hold at 250, but it's still a nice looking trend despite giving back the pump. It still looks pretty good. It still looks better than Bitcoin actually right now. Pardon me. It's almost like Bitcoin above 90K. Your 90K level in this chart would be $2.205. You do not want to see fail. Look at Litecoin back below 100. People are so excited and telling me I'm crazy. I love this chart. Well, rejected again, range peak, right? Another one, Ethereum, BTC, people are calling top or bottom. I'm saying not yet. Here I put out the tweet where, Timeline's trying to talk itself into a bottom. Not quite yet, folks. So we got to be careful guessing too quickly before trends are reversing. Can I check injective? The thing's terrible, man. You're still looking at INJ? Sure. At some point you got to throw away these bad charts and move on. INJ is just a bad chart. Why are you even talking? $10. This has been risk off since $31. So this just looks terrible. What's the question about INJ, injective? I mean, it's just terrible. Let me find the question, though. I love the comments. I love so far. I said something about, there's so many comments, I'm having trouble finding where the question was. Max P, injective. Basically, something about INJ. This is just a terrible chart. I don't know why you're even looking at this. Just delete this one, delete it from your watch list. This is just a terrible chart. You shouldn't even be asking. I mean, it really shouldn't even be asking about it. It's a terrible chart. You got to pay attention when the market gives you a break, and you should have been risk off on INJ since 31. Bunch of questions. I'm going to try to do some of these requests, but I'm looking around for interesting questions. Would you recommend using Heiken Ashi? Not really. Heiken Ashi means even bar in Japanese candlestick theory. It's a little bit slow for me. I like to use just OHLC, open, high, low, close. Japanese candlestick theory, regular Japanese candles. I don't really use Heiken Ashi, but if you like them for fun, definitely go for it and have some fun. Hopefully that works for you. There's different ways to do the market. You definitely do not need to do it my way. I'm just kind of showing you what I look good. Let's see. I've heard not looking good 4 times in 2 minutes. Bottom is in, says Brandon. Well, bottom is in on what? You mean Bitcoin? All right. I mean, I told you not looking good at 90K. We're down to 82.5. We're probably going lower. So I feel like I've done pretty good here with the not looking good 21 hours ago. So, be careful. You can counter trend. You can counter trend me, and I'll get it wrong sometimes. But I think I've got a pretty good feel. I feel pretty comfortable about my analysis. Let's see what everyone has to say. I love you folks for being here. Thanks for hanging up. Hi, Cheds, says Turtles, what's up? How you doing? Do I think Bitcoin dominance is topped yet? Definitely not. There's no indication of Bitcoin dominance topping yet. I know people want it to have topped. There's absolutely no indication of this yet. Again, people are trying to talk themselves into a top on this because they want an altcoin season. Avoid that type of analysis. Let's see what people are having to say. Bitcoin Live member for 3 years. Best content so far. Thank you, RS. It's so great to have you. Really proud of the team we have there. I like the fact that you get different styles of analysis. We don't get together and like decide what we're going to say. I honestly don't even pay that close attention to what my colleagues are saying because I like to focus on my own analysis. Hey, Cheds, how much signal do you give to candles that feel manipulated from things like social media tweets? Well, it's a thing where all you can really do is define your risk based on clear levels, in this case, 90K. And, you know, you can't anticipate when a tweet's going to come or North Korea is going to, you know, fire a nuke into the ocean or like something weird's going to happen. But what you can do is use TA to help interpret the volatility, to help interpret that price action. So here you say, okay, I'm risk on back above 90K. And then you're waiting. You say, but I want to see this throwback hold, throwback to 90K range. If it doesn't hold, then that tweet, the news doesn't matter because the price is factored in. The market is factored in. I'm not going to try to figure out the market. I'm not going to try to outsmart the market. I'm going to let it, you know, factor it in for me, okay? M. Andrew says, where does the price have to go to invalidate your 74K long? I mean, it's got to get back up above 90K. That's the most important price level on the chart. The price has failed to hold it. I think you'd want to short a retest of that level if we get there. How do you determine a 4-hour close? That's going to be up to you. Confirmation level could be 1 hour, could be 3 1-hour candles, could be 4 hour, could be 4 4-hours, 1 daily, 2 daily. A certain percentage of move. Confirmation level in classical charting is user-based. I used a daily candle close in this break, and I used an intra-candle close on this breakdown. You'll notice I made the call. I made the shields up call intra-candle based on the momentum that I saw. I made this shields up call in the middle of the candle. I wasn't waiting for any close because I could just tell it was losing the level. So it's a little bit of experience, and it's a little bit based on each level, and it's based on your user choice. So I can't tell you what to use for your confirmation level, okay? ETH looking terrible. Any thoughts? I absolutely agree it's looking terrible. It needs to hold here. Otherwise, it's probably going like 1,500. High time frame range breakdown. Failed kind of inverted head and shoulders continuation in the weekly. Right shoulder failure there. Drop back to high time frame level and probably going to break it just based on momentum. So I think you start to look around 1,500 if we lose support here. And it looks like it's probably going to lose support. I don't like the momentum on Ethereum. This is a great group. Maybe we'll do 1 or 2 more. Here we go. Yeah. MD was the one who asked about, is injective around bottom? Could it go in? It's terrible. Like, don't play these charts. Don't hold this stuff down to $3 from 31. When injective tried to fail to break out and it failed to hold here, you have to insta short. You're out. You're just out. And these are underside retests too. Fail, hold here, sell. Why are we talking about INJ? Do not hold this down to 0. Okay? I say this with love because I've done that. I've held so much stuff down to 0. Big stats only. Big shout out to you. Have been following you for a couple of years, both in Twitter and Bitcoin Live. Oh, thank you. And I'm a cancer researcher, so I feel more connected to you. Thank you. Big stats. Have you seen my cancer memoir? I talk a lot about like receiving chemo and going through radiation and being in the hospital and stuff like that. So you might find that interesting. I feel like healthcare workers would find that, and researchers would find it really interesting. I'll do one or 2 more requests, and then I'm going to wrap it up. These are quick market updates. St. Croix Boy said, did I see a trend line? Yes. But it's not about the line. It's about the trend. It doesn't matter where you draw a trend line. It doesn't matter if you do the wicks or the bodies. The idea is you're capturing a descending trend, a descending supply trend. Remember, there is no line. There is only a trend. And we're not using a line for a long trigger, using a 2-level filter, second level break, standard technique. I talk about that a million times over. Peter Hanush, if your average Bitcoin price is 89K, what would you do? I mean, Peter, but what would I do? I'm not in your trade. I don't know what you're trying to do, Peter. And I say this with love. What's your thesis? Don't be asking some guy in an orange mask on YouTube what to do with your money. Like, you need to define your risk based on the chart level. On your idea, are you just dollar cost averaging for the next 10 years? Or are you trading hoping that 90K held and it didn't? You should be out. So I can't really answer your question, Peter. It has to be based on what you're trying to do. It has to be based on your whole trade idea. So the whole idea of here's my average, what should I do? I dislike that question. If you're in that position and you're asking someone else, you should not be in that. You shouldn't be risking your money, right? You should only enter a trade or even an investment with a thesis well-defined, knowing when that thesis fails. You can't have this wishy-washy, in-between stuff. I've covered Solana. I'll check out TRX real quick. Still holding 22.5. Still looks really good, actually. I like this price compression. I favor this to continue higher with bulls. It's crazy. TRX is it's been, still digesting this move from back in December, holding 22.5. We've been watching that level. Somebody asked about Doge. We'll take a look at Doge. Kind of rough, right? Look at that really strong falling channel, lower highs, lower lows, probably had a lower 16, 17 cents range. I think that's going to be the next level to watch. So, folks, this is a great chat room. I talked about Bitcoin. I talked about the initial breakdown, the recapture of the range on those tweets, and the importance of the price for holding at 90K on the throwback. And then I gave the heads up. If we lose 90K, you want to shields up. We lost 90K. Folks, this is not looking good. We're all the way down at 82, 83. And we're very likely headed to 72 to 74K range. It needs to hold there. It's kind of been my base case. In my view, it looked like the price was going there anyway before the tweet. So the market's faded that tweet. The momentum from the original break is still strong, and you want to be incredibly careful at this point. Today's Tuesday. I'm going to be back again on Gilbert. I don't understand the question. Will the capital of 5K be sufficient to subscribe to Bitcoin Live? I mean, to do what? You can sign up for 1 month. It's like $150, and you could watch every video we have for the last 7 years. And that's more than worth it. I mean, so it's sufficient to do what? It's the best team in the world that studies crypto, and you can watch all our videos. So just, sign up for 1 month and just learn. We're not going to tell you how to take 5K and make it into 5 million. I'm going to teach you how to manage your risk, teach you how to read a chart, and you're going to get different styles, and you're going to get from me dependable long-form analysis every Wednesday, Sunday night. I haven't missed a report in almost 7 years. So I don't. But the question of, is this enough? It's if you want to learn, there's nothing better. Okay, so that's what I'll say there, folks. Thank you. Hey, Indie Rock, good to see you. Almost missed you, folks. Thank you so much for being here. I have published 3 books. I teach professional technical analysis, Japanese candlestick theory, and classical charting. I published 3 books. My 4th book is coming out like within a week. It's coming really soon. I'm proud of it. The Trading Journal, Emotional Management, How to Identify Trade Setups, How They Fail, Why to Use a Trading Journal, How to Use it. I'm just waiting on the final cover art. And since I have my 4th book coming out, my 3rd book is going to be completely free. I've started a playlist. Watch that. Check out my Trading Wisdom playlist. All right. Check out my Cancer Memoir. My books are available on Amazon. They're available on audiobook. But I try to make most of what I do for free. So check it all out here if you're looking for more. Of course, twice a week, long-form analysis at Bitcoin Live with the best team in the world that studies crypto. This is part of the Quick Market Update series. I'll be back again on Friday afternoon. We'll have more to talk about then. Leave me a comment on the video. Let me know what you're thinking, how you're feeling. Folks, thank you for hanging out. What a great room today. What a great group of you folks. I hope you are doing well. Make sure you're managing your risk. If you're don't feel helpless when you enter a trade. Know when it fails. Don't just hold like the guy with Injective asking me, is it bottom? You shouldn't even be looking at that chart. Don't hold stuff all the way down. Manage your risk. It's risk off below 90K, loud and clear. So, folks, thank you so much. I hope that I see you next time. I hope you decide to come back. And let's finish it off with Church of 8 Wheels, folks. Thank you so much. Peace out, everybody. Have a great day, and thank you again.